And listen, did you intentionally seat me across from a judge? I'll tell you what's the truth. That's sort of almost embarrassing. I'm not talking for me about me. I'm talking about the judge. She's the one. No, I'm going to tell you, Judge, how people think about us lawyers. I have two grown daughters who are twins, and then they have an older sister. And one night I was about to retire and wanted to relax a little bit before I lay down to go to bed. And I picked up this little book, and it flipped open, and I looked at it, and it said that it had been given to me by Ruth, one of my twins, for Father's Day sometime a little earlier. I said, well, I'll see what in the world she gave me. So I closed it up, and here's what the title of that book is, ladies and gentlemen. Lawyers and Other Reptiles. As the Lord is my witness, that is the title to that book. So with that in mind, you all will be able to forgive me for whatever happens. Age is simply the designation of the number of years that the good Lord has allowed you and me to remain here on this earth. But when I was growing up, and I grew up in a very small town in Duplin County, I'm not ashamed of it. It's a big city called Beulahville. Have any of you ever been down that way?
Yeah.
Well, you know where Beulahville is located, don't you? Beulahville, I was born, by the way, I kind of hate it, but say this, Judge, you won't hold this against me, will you? I was born in a place called Hell Swamp. And Beulahville is located halfway between Hell Swamp, where I was born, and Purgatory, which is the easternmost part of Duplin County. That actually was a community called Purgatory. So if I step out of line, you all now understand why I don't. But I told you, I have written some poems, a number of them, and I brought a couple of them here I thought you might like to hear. This poem I wrote, I was holding court, Judge, in Wake County in Raleigh on November the 22nd in 1994. And I wrote this, and I titled it, I just got impressed by, like I'm impressed when I'm looking at you all. You are impressive, and you are affecting me right this minute as I stand here. Same thing happened in the courtroom. So I wrote this little short poem, and will you bear with me and let me read that to you? I entitled it, Faces of Justice. In a place filled with gloom, sit anxious ones awaiting their doom. Countenances filled with fear and dread, not knowing and not seeking that which lies ahead. Citizens each from many places with great and small expectations, awaiting the worst and best in their cases, and fear of the unknown etched in their faces. So I read that for not only for the poem itself, but to let you know, since we have a judge with us, that judges do share the same emotions that each of you do. It just hits us sometimes at different times because of what the duties of the legal system puts on a person. I also, night, all alone in a barroom, I met a girl with a drink in her hand. She had ruby red lips and cold black hair and eyes that would tempt any man. And she come over and sat down at my table, and she placed her soft hand in mine, and I found myself a-wanting to kiss her, because temptation was flowing like wine. But we danced And she whispered, oh, I love you. Take me away from here and be my man. But I looked into her eyes, and there I saw with the reflection of my wedding band. I understand why I was talking about. They were all shaking their heads. I said, well, that's why in the state of North Carolina, since the early 1920s, country music has had an impact on the citizens of this state since then. And I said, country music will be here after we are all passed away and gone. Thank you for